Welcome back to another Super Awesome Mix. My name is Matt Sidholm, alongside my co-host and co-founder of Super Awesome Mix, Sam Abu Salbi. Sam, how we doing this week?
Doing real well. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. This week we've got another one of our intro mixes where we just kind of focus on one artist, and we are going to focus on Stevie Wonder. Okay, and this is my intro mix, so I'm going to intro you're going to intro all the songs, and I'm going to talk about each one. But let me give you a little bit of a bio. Stevie Wonder, that's not his God-given name. It is Stevland Hardaway Judkins, and he was born in Saginaw, Michigan in 1950. Still alive today, age of 75, and in spite of the internet rumors, he is and has always been blind. Okay, there is, if you could do a deep dive on Stevie Wonder not being blind, but he is actually blind. Signed to Motown at age 11. Barry Gordy, the famous Motown producer, calling him Little Stevie Wonder. And later the word little was dropped from that, and he just became known as Stevie Wonder. He topped the Billboard 100 in 1963 at just age 13, which is still the record for the youngest to achieve that mark. He won Grammy Album of the Year with 3 straight album releases in the 1970s. So that's the only artist to ever do that. So that's not 3 consecutive years. It's just every time he released an album, like 3 straight times, they won Grammy Album of the Year, which is incredible. Yeah. His biggest commercial hits probably occurred in the 1980s. I've only got 12 songs here, which was really hard because he has 26 studio albums. And a bunch of them come out in like the 60s and 70s. So this was really hard to get down to 12 songs because, trust me, if you do a deep dive into Stevie Wonder, you'll find you know a ton of his music. But Sam, how familiar were you prior to getting this mix?
I would say I was like 75% familiar with this mix. It was really good. I think you did also an excellent job with the shift in sound, which we'll get to. Because that's something that actually never occurred to me. I was telling my wife about that. Is like, I think I was more familiar with the front half of this mix, the A side, if you will. And then less familiar, funny enough, with his stuff in the 80s. I had heard it, but I guess I never connected the dot that I was listening to Stevie Wonder because it just sounds like
that's
different.
Interesting. Yeah. It's definitely got a very different tone to it, both in subject and sound, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's an excellent mix. I really enjoyed it. It's also, if you are worried about time, only 46 minutes long. Like, this is great.
Short songs. Short. It's incredible.
I think music did like a full thing, right? Like they started short, they got really freaking long, and now they're like, here's a 57-second song, and you're like, okay. Like,
well, what's the minimum on Spotify? Isn't it 30 seconds to like kind of have a song that you could publish on Spotify?
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the shortest possible song you could sort of upload yourself.
Yeah, we're going to get there. It's just the TikTokification of music, I think, is what's happening.
It is. Yeah. You're just not listening to the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. With that, though, let's get into this mix. And I'm going to kick off every song, as Matt mentioned. I'm not going to repeat his name. So you'll just have to follow along that it's Stevie Wonder each time. And we're going to start off with Uptight, parentheses, Everything's All Right.
All right. This one is from 1966. So you can do the math. He was just 16 years old. The album was called Uptight. People know this song. I mean, it hit the top 5 at the time, but I feel like it's been used in so many like movies and TV shows that it just, even if you didn't know it was Stevie Wonder, I feel like you would recognize the song when it came out. This, I think, is just indicative of just his whole catalog, and that his sound just makes you feel good, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's just there's such joy in his music. And that's, I think, what I probably love the most about it. And he sings about love, and in this way, like he sings about it, in this way, and this is kind of a recurring theme, that he's kind of like not worthy of whoever this partner is, right?
Right.
Which is kind of cool, kind of different, it's not, he's not necessarily, like a supplicant to it, but it's also just like, he's definitely sort of thankful that this person is in his life. It's really interesting. But like lyrically, poor man's son from across the railroad tracks, only shirt I own is painted on my back. And so there was also this sort of rich poor thing that he gets into a lot in a number of his songs. Now he's been married 3 times, so there's probably a few people that'll tell you that he doesn't carry this great love over into his personal life, but he certainly sings about it in an amazing way.
Right. No, I think I agree with everything you're saying in terms of like it's a happy song. It's very joyful. It's timeless in that regard. One thing that made me laugh is the lyrics here of like I got empty pockets. I'm a poor man's son. Can't give her the things that money can buy, but I'll never make my baby cry. Which I think is very different from a lot of modern rap and hip hop songs. That's the message. Which it's like the complete opposite.
Yes. They've kind of reversed it nowadays, where it's like, you should be thankful to be with me, okay?
And I'm loaded. I got everything. Like, so I really appreciate that this is all about love. It's very nice.
Yeah, Stevie is kind of the anti-rap musician, isn't he? Because like, I got nothing. I can just be here for you.
I can just be here. Yeah, exactly. It's really nice. It's very kind. All right. On that note, a great segue. Track number 2 is I Was Made to Love Her.
All right. This one is from 1967. And at this point, this is his 7th studio album. Okay. He's 17 years old.
It's insane.
Now, albums back then, let me just note, were like 10 songs. A number of them, we've talked about this before, from like older artists, were cover songs because you were trying to put out an entire album. And so they'd have a handful, 5, 6 original songs. Then they just kind of put some covers on there. So if you go back and listen to his early albums, a lot of them are things that other artists have done that he's just re-recording. But this is his 7th album. So he's 17 years old. And I mention that because I think this idea of I was made to love her is kind of a youthful idea. Mm-hmm. If he's 35 years old and singing about this, like I feel like it's a little bit more disingenuous than when you put it in the perspective of being a teenager. And even lyrically, I was knee high to a chicken when that love bug bit me. I had the fever with each passing year. Like he's just, love is new to him. And it's just like, this was what I was made for, like this amazing feeling. So I don't know. I've always loved this song, and again, there's just joy in it, the way he sings it, and it's just a great love song.
Yeah, I also was going to highlight that line, the knee high to a chicken when that love bug bit me, because it's true. I think that's like a great kind of description of love at that age, because it does kind of feel like an infection in some ways. It just takes you over, like you're in another world when it's happening. It's like new and exciting. And yeah, you're just imagining yourself. I very much remember, I think my first high school, if you could even call her my girlfriend, I don't think I would looking back, but I was like, oh, I got a girlfriend. And I was already planning what house we were going to buy when we were older, like It lasted 3 weeks, Matt.
If you had a cell phone at the time, you would have been sending her like Zillow listings and stuff. Like, this one's going to be a good school district. Okay, this is
the kids are going to love this pool in the backyard.
She just text back, "We need to talk."
Yeah.
Oh no, what?
So I can relate real hard to this song. But yeah, it's a really nice one. This is one of the ones that I don't think I had heard before, but it's a really, really lovely one. All right, let's go to track number 3. One of my favorites actually on this mix. I just really like this one, and it is Yester Me, Yester You, Yesterday.
Okay, this is from 1969, and it's a My Chérie Amour album. My Chérie Amour is another kind of bigger hit for him. I like including this one because it kind of like indicates a jump in maturity from like a song output standpoint, because it's almost like rueful, right? Mm-hmm. And just sort of like wishing things were the way they used to be. And I mean, I don't know. I've always loved this one. I think the lyrics are very clever, and even just the title, you could see that, like using that yester part, to kind of think about yester me, yester you. And it's just a little bit lower energy than kind of what you're used to at this point. Now, this is album number 11 for him. Okay. And he's 19 years old. He puts out 26 albums. So he's not even 20 years old, and we're about halfway through his catalog. And so it's incredible. But you think about how long he's been in the music business at that point, and he probably has done quite a bit of growing up, and he's probably significantly more mature for a 19-year-old than most people would be. So, but it does start to represent a little bit of a transition in kind of the songs he's putting out there.
Yes, yeah. That's insane to think about how prolific he was at such a young age. Like I can't even wrap my head around that. But I really, really loved the lyrics of this one. And I think it's, again, especially now as the world continues to feel like it's just off its train tracks. I know a lot of millennials around my age are looking back to the 90s and probably could recite, what happened to the world we knew when we would dream and scheme while the time away. So yes, I think that that right there, I instantly connected with. Because the 90s, when we were kids, you just felt like everything was like just so easy and it made sense. And now we're all like, take us back.
But everything, I do think, not to get off on a tangent, but things seem more chaotic, I feel like, as an adult when you are more in tune with like the news and the world around you. Because like my kids right now, they have no concept of anything being bad or messed up. Like, so they'll probably someday be like, man, the 2020s were so easy, right? Like that was such a great time. But any adults from that era would be like, it was insane. Are you kidding me? It was
awful. Yeah. I can't believe that you're not serving breakfast with like NPR.org or Politico.com. Come on.
I do love those posts where it's just like, how am I supposed to talk to my children about this? And I'm like, why are you talking to your children about this?
About Senate voting.
Yeah. Look, when my son looks at me and asks me why our representative voted this way, it's like, wait, your son's asking you about this? I don't even know who my representative is now. Like, well into my 40s.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, little Timmy, let me talk to you about riders on bills. And the Senate parliamentarian.
The Schoolhouse Rock is just like you want to talk about short songs becoming longer, right? It's a 7.5 minute version of "I'm Just a Bill."
Right.
Yeah, I'm just an executive order.
All right, let's go on to just a forever classic, and this one is "For Once in My Life."
Yeah, this one, I feel like it's great because it is both kind of a blues song and a joyful song all at once. So he's talking about how kind of difficult his life is. But now for once, this thing has happened to him. And again, it's sort of this elevation of the idea of being in love and how much better it makes your life. And I just think it's amazing how he kind of does both here, because if you're you don't have to be in this like amazing position in life to have love sort of lift you up. And I think that's sort of the running thing with Stevie Wonder. It's like, I said it earlier, he's like kind of the anti-rap person. It's not, I can do all these things for you. It's just at a very basic level, I can love you. Right. Yeah. And it's like, that's what's so cool about this. And in this case, he's receiving love, and how uplifting that is for him versus, not having that, and sort of this picture of his life otherwise that maybe isn't this glamorous life. So I don't know. It's just amazing, but I do think it's very indicative of kind of his music overall.
Yeah, well said. No, I think that's great. This one is it's really, really sweet. I love the lines here. "For once, unafraid, I can go where life leads me. Somehow I know I'll be strong." And, again, just singing to that quality of like what love can make you feel like you can do anything. And that's awesome. So I love this one. And it features a harmonica solo. And if you've been a long time listener of the show, you know that I'm all about harmonicas. They're great. So I'm always here for that. So great song.
Yeah, and Stevie first became known as just a harmonica player, and then later, the piano. So he is, not just a singer. I mean, even though he's blind, he can play the piano, and yeah, he's got an amazing ear.
Yeah, unbelievably so. All right, track number 5. A funny one because it sounds one way, but it's actually like the lyrics are something a little different. I believe we've talked about this before on the show in that regard. And this is "Signed, Sealed, Delivered, parentheses, I'm Yours."
Yeah. So I think these next few songs like kind of get into this stretch where it's like the first few notes you kind of recognize that it's a Stevie Wonder song, right? At least for me, it's just right away. I don't even need to hear his voice. But yeah, this one, it's kind of a love song, right? But it's not. Like, it's definitely kind of like, I'm an idiot, like I screwed up. He
Right.
definitely did not. It does by title just kind of be like, hey, here I am, I'm yours. But it's like he's clearly gone off track here with this relationship, and he's trying to win her back. Seeing a lot of things in this old world. When I touch them, they mean nothing, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Stevie, you are touching something, right? Like, so
Right.
you're not totally innocent here, okay? So it's a fun song. It's a joyful song, but, it does, you're right, kind of serve that dual purpose because he has screwed up and he's trying to win her back. But I do think you're right. A lot of times it is served up as just a straight sort of romantic kind of love song.
Yeah, I can't remember if we put it on our Do Not Play at My Wedding mix, but if we didn't, it would go on there, I would say, because it does, again, off title. You're like, oh, that's so cute. And, he's like, I'm yours. I'm here. But literally, as you're saying, it's because he's been like cheating and running around the world with other people. And then he realizes what a mistake it was. And now he's here. So maybe not the vibe you want at your wedding after your vows have occurred. So
I think UPS or the U.S. Postal Service also paid him a ton of money at one time to use it in commercials.
That's appropromote, though. Your
That
package has been all around. Yeah,
That's right. I'm surprised Jeff Bezos hasn't paid that to promote Prime Days or something.
Right. All right, here is where that shift occurs in sound. This is track number 6, and it is Superstition.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth on including this one because I feel like I've heard it so many times and it's been covered by so many different artists. But then I was like, well, that's why I should include it, because it's kind of like one of his more famous songs. It's considered like one of the greatest songs of all time if you read, any number of lists. It's from the album Talking Book in 1972, which also included You Are the Sunshine of My Life. But Superstition, I mean, it's such a cool combination of synthesizers and horns. And I mean, it's 1972, so it's kind of a unique sound for the time, right? Very much ahead of it. And but it also doesn't sound overly dated. It's not synthesizers from like the 80s where you could kind of pluck out, all right, this song came out in 1984. It creates this really kind of timeless sound. It's been covered, like I said, a number of times. I know Stevie Ray Vaughan did a pretty somewhat famous cover of it, but there's been a number of artists who have done it, and it's been used in similar to a lot of his music. It's been used in various movies and stuff, so you've heard it. But it's really pretty straightforward. It's about superstition, right?
Yes.
And he kind of lays that out in the lyrics. But this is one of those, and he's got a number of them where you could just drop the lyrics and listen to the music, and it's just amazing on its own. And then his voice just kind of adds to that.
I agree. Yeah, this is a great song. Starts to be a little bit more funky, if you will, and it just I agree with the synth thing. It's funny that you say that because 80s synth music, not all of it, but most of it did not age well. And you hear it. Yeah.
You can immediately tell, like I said, like, the year and the era, and some people hate that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you're listening or watching us on video, but I'm raising my hand. Dislike.
I was trying to cover for you and just say, some people, okay?
Some people. They might even be on this recording now.
They might, yeah.
But no, great song and lyrics that I think also stand the test of time, right? When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. And I think that is a really good summation of what's happening all the time. All the time. That's a universal thing. All right. Track number 7. This is Don't You Worry About a Thing.
All right, so if you're a fan of the movie Sing, you would know this one. I mean, that's an animated movie with a lot of music in it, but there's an elephant in it named Mina. It's voiced by Tori Kelly, who is a pop star in her own right. And she quite literally brings down the house at the end of the movie with this song and does an amazing version of it. And I think a lot of people have covered this one as well, but I love this song just sort of vocally. And he's got, and I'll mention this later with another one of his songs, but the cadence at which he sings is so unique. And I think this indicates that. And there's another song later that I want to point that out in. But I think it's so cool and just makes it so unique. But I love the theme in this one. This one's a more straightforward kind of love song, like just don't you worry about a thing. It's from the album Intervisions, which is another pretty famous album. The song Higher Ground comes from that as well, which was famously covered by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, as well as Living for the City. And that was a song that was sampled by many others. And that's another thing. If you get into Stevie Wonder's songbook, you're going to be like, have I heard this song before? And I guarantee you have, because so many of his songs have been sampled by rap artists and other artists. It's incredible. But anyway, going back to this one, I don't know. I've just always loved this song, just sort of vocally, the way he sings it and just lyrically.
I agree. Yeah, this one is such a strong one. I love the opening notes. And I think that's something that is really, he does very well, is like, and maybe it's just because we've heard these songs over and over, but I find that these opening notes always on all these tracks just immediately pull you in. Whether it's nostalgia because you've heard it a lot, or I think they're just really strong hooks, basically. And I think he's always done that very well. So I love this song. I love kind of the Latin beat here, and I love the lyrics. All right, track number 8. This is Boogie On, Reggae Woman.
Okay, this is from the album Fulfillingness's First Finale, which is quite the tongue twister. Yes. But that was one of his 3 Grammy-winning albums in the 1970s. I don't love reggae music. I think I'm on record saying that. But this is, I mean, such a cool fusion of like reggae and funk. And again, this one just sort of, from a musical standpoint, I can listen to this all day. I just love it. And I don't know what it is about the hook that sucks me in. There's nothing too notable, I think, about the lyrics, but I mean, again, like I said, I just love listening to this one over and over again. And it's this one's kind of cool because it does go on for a little bit. We talked about some of his shorter songs earlier, but this one, I think in recognition of just how cool it sounds, just kind of keeps going.
Yeah, this one is definitely much more like R&B and funk, I would say, instead of like reggae, and it sounds so cool. I loved this. So I totally agree with you. It almost reminded me of like a Flight of the Conchords track. I feel like those guys definitely love, I'm sure that they love and appreciate Stevie Wonder. They love and appreciate a lot of like musical influences, but a couple of their songs come to mind when I listen to this one, where they kind of probably took inspiration and wrote it. So great track.
I don't think I would have thought that one of the artists inspired by Stevie Wonder that you would name would be Flight of the Conchords, but I love it.
They're one of the shows, like their HBO show is one of the ones that I will just watch on repeat, especially when I need like a pick me up, because it's just so fun. It's so fun. I want to live in their world. All right, track number 9. This one was so crazy to me because you mentioned about the sampling, and I was like, "Oh my god, I know this song from the song that sampled it." But it is "I Wish," and I'm sure you will mention which song famously sampled it.
Yes, I will. This is from the album. First, I'll mention the famous album it's from, "Songs in the Key of Life," which again, another Grammy winner, and it's considered like one of the greatest albums of all time, and includes the songs not just "I Wish," but also "Sir Duke," "Isn't She Lovely," and "Pastime Paradise." Now that's another one that gets sampled. "Pastime Paradise" is sampled in Coolio's "Gangsta's Paradise." "I Wish" is sampled in the Will Smith song "Wild Wild West," which was the theme song to a very forgettable forgettable movie, I should say, which got me thinking that great song, bad movie might be a good mix to put together.
Absolutely. Kiss from a Rose. It would be on there from Seal. Yes. from the Batman film.
Yeah, Batman Forever, I think that was.
I think so. It's something like that, yeah.
No, exactly, yeah. So there's a lot of like great soundtrack song, bad movie. which this
It's a
definitely
great
falls
mix.
into. Yes.
We're going to do that one. I'm coming up with so many. That's a good one.
No, trust me, that got in my head when I thought of this one, and I immediately thought of a few others too. That I was like, God, that's another one. God, terrible movie, great soundtrack. But yeah, this one is. I mean, I love it because he's singing so specifically about things from his childhood, and in such a way that, you know, even though in some cases he's getting in trouble, it's still in such a fun way and just kind of brings joy and will probably, you know, evoke childhood memories of your own while listening to this. So I've always loved this one, but it was tough to just pick one from Songs in the Key of Life. And you know, I don't know, I wanted to pick more than one, but I also, when it was down to pick one, that was hard to pick out. But anyway, that's a great album, and definitely if you're going to get into any one album, that's probably the one I would point to.
Yeah, this one is so good. The line that I loved that made me laugh was, looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worry was for Christmas, what would be my toy? And I laughed because I'm 40 and that's like actually my only worry at Christmas time. I want to know what I'm getting. It's really important that people get me what I want.
Yeah, gift receiving is your love language. Not so much giving, but gift receiving.
I put together a gift guide. It's got sections and headers and clickable links.
No, is this stuff you're gonna buy us, or no? Okay, stuff for you. Got it. Okay, Sam. Yeah. Okay.
It's all for me. Speaking of receiving presents, birthday is another great time to do that. And this next song, track number 10, is Happy Birthday.
That is a heck of a segue.
Thank you.
It's from 1980's Hotter Than July. So this is kind of a shift for Stevie Wonder because this is kind of a political song, as he is advocating for making Martin Luther King's birthday a national holiday. And this song was written in support of that campaign. There's a spoken word part at the end that really illuminates that message. So, you know, a lot of people, and I think I even brought this one onto the show before, is just like, isn't this just a better version than the standard happy birthday song? Even if, you know, get away from the, you know, whatever the political message is, it's like, just listen to this. You're going to be in a better mood on your birthday. And it was a successful campaign because the third Monday of every January here in the U.S. is Martin Luther King Day. Unlike, you know, your failed campaign to make Ralph Nader's birthday a national holiday. I don't know why you stuck to that for so long.
I was only 1 million signatures short, Matt. All right. We were so close. We were so close.
No, I'm surprised you got the 11 that you did. I mean, even Ralph Nader gave you a hard pass on that one.
He did.
Yeah.
He was not interested.
His people passed on it, not him himself. Couldn't get Nader. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this one, I just love this song, just how it sounds, but also really cool that, you know, I love it that like in 1980, it was like, hey, we need to get people behind this. And Stevie Wonder's like, I got it. I'll record this song and it'll be super famous and we will, you know, get this done. And he did. So this is kind of awesome.
That is really cool. That could be another mix we do one day, like songs that created change in the world. That would be really interesting. So this would be on that list for sure. But I agree with you about the happy birthday song. This is infinitely better. And we should just adopt this one. All right. Track number 11, final stretch here. This one is just a great one, classic. And it is I Just Called to Say I Love You. Okay.
So this is both a Grammy winner and an Oscar winner for Stevie Wonder. We talked about great soundtrack, bad movie earlier. It is from the soundtrack. He did the entire soundtrack to a terrible movie called The Woman in Red. And I know, Sam, sometimes I come on here with 80s movies and I'm like, no, but you should see this, right? Like, do not actively avoid this movie.
Got it.
It's so bad.
I can only imagine.
But like for me to just be like, no, don't even waste your time seeing it. Like, that's how bad this movie is. But the soundtrack's excellent. You get this one. It's a monster hit. It still gets played today. He showed up on an episode of The Cosby Show doing this one. The premise of that was like he'd gotten into a fender bender with one of the Cosby kids and then just becomes friends with the family because, like, of course, that's how you're going to write Stevie Wonder into a sitcom.
Yes.
if you he did it on Carpool Karaoke with James Corden. Stevie Wonder was not driving, in case anyone was wondering about that. But if you watch the movie High Fidelity, okay, Jack Black's character is not a fan of this song.
Right.
Okay. So some people who are hardcore Stevie Wonder fans will be like, look, this is just commercial and schlock, and the really good stuff is back in the 70s. But it is undoubtedly his biggest hit and probably the thing he's most known for. And I think it's a pretty good song.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a staple song, and we have to give him credit for it. And this is also one of the songs that I think my parents had on one of their forever mixes. It's been a minute since we've talked about those, but this is definitely on that mix, because that was instant time capsule when I hit play. I remember.
I'm glad we got another puzzle piece in that mix. I think it has been a while since we referenced it.
It really has, yeah.
Now, Stevie Wonder, this was not his only soundtrack that he contributed to. Later on, he did the entire soundtrack to the Spike Lee movie Jungle Fever. And the title track to that one is really, I think it sounds great. And that's a pretty unique soundtrack, pretty unique movie by Spike Lee. So definitely something else to check out there a few years after this one. That one's in the early 90s.
Nice. All right. Track number 12, last one on the mix, and it is Overjoyed.
Okay. So this is from the 1985 album In Square Circle, which is album number 20 for him. So he would come out with 6 more albums after this, and that was between 1985 and I think 2005 was the last release we got from him. But this album also included the song Part-Time Lover, which I think was kind of a moderate hit for him as well. I just love how timeless this one sounds. I mean, it's squarely in the mid 80s, but and you could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it sounds like an 80s song, right? It just sounds like almost like an American standard, if you will, right? With the piano and just the way his voice sounds. And again, I mentioned this earlier with the way he sings, Don't You Worry About a Thing. But here, he's just got this unique cadence to how he sings. So if you're trying to sing along to his music in the car, it's probably going to take some time to get used to it, because it's just a little bit. He speeds up at times and he slows down, but it doesn't bump you in any way. Like you're totally into it. And again, this is just kind of a beautiful song. Yeah,
no, it's incredible. I think it's interesting. It again kind of comes back to that original message, because in this case, it's like unrequited love, of just like he's putting his love out there, but he's maybe not getting it in return. So still singing about that. In this case, like 20 years after his first, roughly 20 years after his first track. So, but this is a really beautiful song and uses a lot of really pretty imagery as well.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, hasn't come out with a new album since 2005. Every now and then we get teases about him coming out with something new. In a similar vein, we had the random single from Billy Joel, I think, last year, which was his first original song in quite a long time as well. So maybe we'll get something like that popping up. But he still makes appearances. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2014. And Johns Hopkins Peabody Institute, which is their music school, if you will, gave him the George Peabody Medal for Outstanding Contributions to Music and Dance in America in 2024. So still out there, still receiving honors as he should. He's an American legend. And honestly, I think you're really going to enjoy just any one of his albums. I think you could just put it on beginning to end. It's going to put you in a good mood. And it was really hard to just get down to 12. So trust me, you're going to listen to a bunch and probably, reach out and say you missed this one or that one.
Yep. No, it was a great mix. He's an amazing artist, and I think we could be talking about him in another 100 years. I think he's just one of these artists that has that staying power, even outside of the volume that he's produced. That I think they're just amazing songs that just continue to get played generation after generation.
All right. Well, there you have it. Another super awesome mix for your collection. Check us out on social media at Super Awesome Mix on Instagram and Threads and YouTube. And so you can watch the video of this as well as other videos that we're posting on there. So like and subscribe to that, because that helps other people find us. You can also leave us a review on our podcast page. Anyway, Sam and I have plenty of other mixes to get to, so we'll get to work on that. So for Sam, this is Matt. We'll see you next time.